trying to beat the sun up. Grinding hard for mine to see a meal before my sun's up. All I'm saying is I'm trying to get my funds up. Gotta stay strapped, case these niggas.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining in another episode of Run It Back, where we highlight the area's greats from yesteryear. This episode is not going to be nothing short of what you've been hearing in the past from the greats that sit on this, sit next to me and give their story. And like I always say, it's a history lesson. So this individual that we're going to showcase this week not only made their imprint on the hardwood floor in high school back in the day, they also took their talents on the collegiate level, and they also came back and are making a name for themselves for the hard work and the work that they're putting in on the city streets of Waterbury, Connecticut. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please give me a warm welcome, and let's all, give it up to Mr. Randy Brooks from Waterbury, Connecticut, Sacred Heart alum. Yes, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Appreciate you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
It's
a lot
an
of
honor.
great people have sat in this seat, so thank you for having me.
Yes, man. Yes, man. This is, like I tell everybody, man, this is a history lesson. You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know. And even those that knew you coming up but still don't know your story. You know what I'm saying? What was the little intricacies that you put in that made you, the athlete and the person that you became and that you are, you know what I mean? So, we're just going to chop it up. And the thing is, too, you made your imprint on the sports world of basketball, but you're also still relevant in making your imprint in the sports world, but in the community, the community force. You know what I mean? So, we're just going to chop it up, and why don't you give them a brief introduction to your high school and kind of like what you're doing now. And then we're going to just kind of like double back and dive in.
Okay, so you want me to start in high school? Or you want me to start in the beginning?
Probably let's start in the beginning.
Okay.
Where to start?
For me, basketball started as early as I can remember.
Okay.
It was just something that I naturally gravitated towards. I grew up the Bucks Hill Projects, Laurel Estates.
Okay.
So we had what was called the big park. We had the small park.
Yeah.
And then up top
the big one
was the big park. Oh man. And I just remember going up there as a kid, and all the older guys are playing.
Yeah.
I got my own ball, but all the older guys are playing. So you just sitting there just waiting for an opportunity. Somebody got to go. Unfortunately, somebody gets hurt, but you just because they're not about to let you play.
No. You're not gonna just, hey, come on, shorty.
You too young. So I just that was kind of like where it started. I kind of scratched the surface, playing up there, and then the boys club.
Okay.
Like the boys club for as early as I can remember, probably like 5 years old. I remember a neighbor across the street from my grandparents' house was. Like, we were playing, then he was like, nah, I got to go. I'm going to the boys club. And I was like, what is that? He's like, you don't know what the boys club is? And I remember going to the boys club, and it was like, this is the greatest place on earth.
Yes.
Like, you got all these kids from all over the city, and it's just games. And I played anytime they open up that gym, I don't care if it was floor hockey, soccer, t-ball, anything, I'm in the gym. Now, obviously, I played all of them, but out of all the sports, basketball stood out. But I still was playing whatever they had.
Yes.
But one thing I wasn't going to do was stay in the house.
No.
I remember just rushing out of school. I remember we had like a championship game for like baseball or something like that, and just rushing through my homework. My homework. My grandmother was like, nah, do it again. I'm like, all right. She's like, nah, do it again. That's not right. I'm like, you don't understand. I have a championship game today at the boys club. She's like, no, you don't understand.
Right.
You're going to get this homework done.
Exactly.
And I remember it took me so long. I got there too late. I didn't make it to the championship game.
Oh, man.
That was my everything, because that's where my fun was at the boys club. That's where, even the people that I know now, most of those relationships were built at the boys club. So for me, it started at the boys club, and the boys club only went to to a certain age. I think it was like 12, 13. Because like right around 14, they didn't really have many programs for like teens.
No, don't even in like 14 because you're at the cutoff with junior pro and all that. And if you didn't play on the state team, you was hit.
I remember you for junior pro. You had that gray shirt on. I can see it right now. I can see you and Trevor Harlow was on the same team.
Yes,
Trevor. I remember that. Because I wasn't like, you was a little bit ahead of me. So I'm always a watcher.
Yeah.
So I'm watching. I'm like, oh no, I gotta get up there. I gotta get up there.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the earliest I can remember is like the state team or seeing Mike Sanders or T. Davis or Harold Miller like come through. I'm watching like, oh my goodness, these are like superstars.
They're superstars. And the thing is, when you're at the boys club every day, and like you said, you see these guys coming through. We read about, like, we're like, oh, Chuck, I'm reading about you right now in the paper, and here you come in the gym, and you know what I'm saying, just kind of like messing around with us. And you know, it's one of those things when you mention the Harold, the Mikes, the T. Davises, those guys, you know, was in the boys club heavy too. Yes. And it's like, you know, you get my age group that's right under them, so we're seeing them play. And then you go to seeing them play, then you read about them in the paper. You know what I mean? So when they come in there, they're stars.
They were larger than life.
They were stars,
They were larger than life. Like for me, there was a list that I had. Top of that list for me as a kid, and he knows, was Mike Sanders. Was Mike Sanders. I know Mike since I was probably maybe like first grade, second grade.
Yes.
And he was the guy. Yeah. Like that's who all of my focus was on. So seeing him come into the into the boys club, I'm like, man, this, like, you know, you got Michael Jordan out there. Yeah. You can't get to Michael Jordan. So for me, this is the closest Mike I can get to, and he was everything at that point. I remember Georgetown coach coming in to watch him work out at the. I'm sitting right there. I'm not old enough to play. I'm probably like 7, 8 years old. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm watching all, and it's just building up a hunger and a determination and a like, oh, it's possible. Yeah. I remember T. Davis doing the robot on the foul line. And I'm like, do it again. I was that little kid, kid just watching all of these guys. Edmund coming in, being larger than life, wearing I remember him having that Magic Johnson round ball jacket on. Okay. This is what I'm exposed to as a little kid. So I'm like, I don't know any other way. But that was the beauty of the boys club, because where else are all of this talent gonna congregate on right there? So this is what I grew up in. This is the environment that I grew up in. I didn't have any older siblings. Okay. And like my older relatives and cousins, I didn't get to really, really know them till I was much older. Right. So I don't have somebody that's bringing me to these games. Mm-hmm. So the only place I'm seeing these people are at the boys club. I'm not going to the Holy Cross Sacred Heart game afterwards. Right. I'm seeing them Saturday after the game is over and everybody talking about Mike did this and Mike did that. I'm seeing you afterwards, which is kind of great because I'm seeing the behind the scenes. Everybody else is seeing the show. And you see I'm seeing the behind the scenes. Person. I'm seeing the person and the work. Mm-hmm. One thing I watched from Mike Sanders, that dude worked. He worked. The strength shoes, the ankle weights, the dribbling the tennis ball. Yep. What do you mean dribbling? I'm watching him dribble a tennis ball. So I'm stealing all of this stuff as a kid. But this is where I'm seeing it. You're getting to watch all these superstars right in front of your face. Right, so I remember watching T. Davis on ESPN when he played at Florida Atlantic. We in the game room at the boys club, and Rob Generali puts the game on. I seen this guy do the robot at the foul line. He's playing on TV. As an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, what do you think that's doing to my mind? It's possible. It's possible. But you got to leave your house and go to this place in order to understand that. Exactly. So that's kind of like my early entry into basketball.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, too, you know, it's very seldom you get, like, the older ones can see the younger ones coming and, like, okay, he putting in some work. Okay. Yeah. You know, so as, like you said, I'm a little older, but I see, okay, Randy getting nice. Like, and I see your development.
Yep.
And then as I'm, growing, and then boom, I go off, and then dang, Randy killing him. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I saw that even at the junior pro, like seeing you getting better. Okay, he's coming. He's gonna be nice. You know what I'm saying? And you obviously when you're older, you're doing, focus on your thing. But you see the younger ones putting in the work and seeing how they getting better. And then it's like, nah, I'm okay. When you start picking teams, I got Randy. Like,
but it was a rites of passage. Like it didn't start out that way.
No.
It didn't start out that way. But
right.
like one of the things, like I know Mike was way older than me, but he would like kind of like pull me along a little bit. Like I'm in first grade. He's probably in 8th.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's even looking my way.
Yeah.
The fact that you're even stopping to take a little time to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? You doing this, that, and the third.
Exactly.
But man, that's such like you're making me feel seen.
Yes.
So I can say, hey mom, that's Mike Sanders. I know him. My mother, she used to hear his name all the time in the house to the point that she was Mike. Picture in the paper every day Sanders. That was her name for Mike Sanders in my house because his picture would be in the paper on the days they ain't had no games.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
this is what I'm seeing. Now don't get me wrong, it wasn't just Mike. There's Harold and T. Davis and all the other guys as well. But he was the first guy. He was the first guy that I locked eyes on. Like I'm chasing this guy
that right there. Yeah.
I'm chasing him. And that's where it started. That's where I needed somebody to chase because single parent household, father relationship. We probably get into that maybe later. But my relationship with my father doesn't become as solid as it is now. Back then, so I need somebody to chase in order to pull what is inside of me out.
Exactly.
And he was the first person I locked eyes with and was like, okay, yeah.
So when did you did you start entering the AAU circuits back then?
Nah, I didn't. I feel like I hit AAU later than everybody else.
Okay.
Because I'm seeing these Adidas walk around the streets.
Yo, where you get them?
I'm like, why everybody got the same sneaker on? Like, why I don't have this
sneaker? That's part
sneaker.
of the AAU package.
Exactly. And I kept hearing the name Connecticut Select. And I kept hearing Wayne Simone. So I'm like, I gotta get some of these sneakers.
Yes.
Because it felt like only the top guys have these sneakers on. So you're not a top guy. I don't care how good you think you are. You're not a top guy if you don't have a pair of these sneakers.
You don't got those.
So I don't even know who Wayne is at this point.
Yep.
But I hear the name and I see the sneakers. So I'm playing. And one of the kids that was on the team, Corey Barnes and Marvin Roundtree, they're going to Sacred Heart with me. So I remember Wayne is dropping Corey off, and I'm walking to school.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, you need a ride? It's like today. It's freezing outside. So like, I need a ride. Yeah. So Corey goes, hey, Randy, this is Wayne. I'm like, Wayne who? Simone. You're Wayne? Because I'm thinking Wayne is black. I didn't know Wayne was. I just didn't know because it's all anyway. Right. So that's my first introduction to him. It's not, hey, do you want to play on my team?
It's a ride.
You need a ride. Like he's already trying to help me out before this AAU thing even gets started. Yeah. He just sees somebody freezing, walking to school, and gives me a ride. So that's my first introduction to him. And that would have been my sophomore year of high school.
Sophomore. So now, did you play any middle school ball?
I played middle school, but I played parochial league.
Okay.
So I played for St. Margaret's, and it was literally, we had some guys that played, but St. Joe's, Willie White is over at St. Joe's, has Boo and Mouse and Corey Barnes.
I think Blizz went there.
Yes.
Blizz.
So that's who I got to go up against.
Got you.
Now, I'm little old St. Margaret's playing against St. Joe's. I did play pretty well against them.
Okay.
So I remember going into my 8th grade year, Willie White takes a liking to me.
Okay.
So he's picking me up from school, bringing me home and stuff. And I'm telling my mother about, this guy, Willie White. And she's like, my mom's not she's not having it. So Willie White's like, we can get you over at St. Joe's, free of charge. You won't have to worry about nothing. Like we see what you're doing. So I'm telling my mom about it. My mom's not trying to hear some random guy promising you no. So I don't go to St. Joe's my 8th grade year. We play against St. Joe's my 8th grade year, and I do really, really, really well.
Okay.
I do really, really well against them. So Willie White comes back again, end of my 8th grade, talking about Sacred Heart now.
Okay.
It's the weekend before school's getting ready to start. I'm going to Wilby.
Oh, the weekend before school.
I'm going to Wilby.
Wow. So you had the whole summer Wilby.
I'm going to Wilby. My mother's praying that I go to Sacred Heart. She's just praying that I go to Sacred Heart.
Now, was Sacred Heart in the talks prior to that?
No. How I'm getting there?
Right.
We don't got that.
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking Sacred Heart. How can I?
Exactly.
I know my mother can't afford it.
Yeah.
I don't know, till later my mother is saying that she's praying for me to go to Sacred Heart.
Okay.
So we get a phone call. By this time, Willie White has my number. We get a phone call, and Willie calls me and just says, "Don't worry about it. Monday morning, make sure you're at school. At Sacred Heart." I'm like, well, that sounds great. You're going to have to talk to her.
Yeah.
So my mother actually talks to him. We go down there.
Okay.
Everything is set up. Sacred Heart.
Get
Starting
out of
Monday.
here.
That's how I got there.
Wow.
Willie White.
So let me ask you this. So all this time, you're thinking Wilby.
Without a doubt.
Are you even communicating with some of the Wilby players?
I mean, we're playing against each other, but I'm not really, communicating with them to the point I'm going to this is where I'm going.
Okay.
But that's where I don't have any other thought,
right.
But this is where I'm going.
I'm in the district. I'm here.
Now, my mother is saying she's going to do whatever she can. She got to rob people to pay Paul. She wants me to go to Sacred Heart, but she knows that she can't actually afford it.
Yeah.
So, that's God opening doors for me way back when, before I ever gave him credit for opening doors for me. Way back when, because he just happened to take a liking to me.
Yeah.
I happened to play really good against the team he's coaching against, to where he opened up the door the year before.
Yeah.
But my mother really wasn't having it. But I guess at this point, she understood, I really want him there at, Sacred Heart. So when it came back, the situation would be taken care of.
Wow.
That's how I got there.
Okay.
That's how I got there.
So now, I got to say this. Now, so you're going into Sacred Heart.
Yep.
Now, that freshman team. Now, who was on that freshman team? Because I know, as you guys start going, y'all like a dynasty. Y'all started building a dynasty.
Yeah.
But was it that initially, or was it a little rough?
No, it was a little rough. Boo is not playing freshman.
He's not playing
He's
freshman.
above freshman. He's straight varsity.
Okay.
Skip freshman, skip JV. He's straight varsity.
Freshman year.
Freshman year. So he's coming in. Remember, he's at St. Joe's. We're competing against each other. I'm at St. Margaret's. He's at St. Joe's.
Okay.
He did well against us. I did well against him. But he's more advanced than me. He was more advanced than me at that point. So when we come in the gate, he's straight varsity.
Straight varsity.
So freshman team is me, Brian Hamlin, Corey Barnes, TJ Palmieri, Josh Giles, Matt Pandisha, John Stankus. That's pretty much my freshman team. So freshman, we're doing all right.
Okay.
So I'm playing freshman. I play a little bit of JV. I don't play varsity because they had tryouts on a Sunday. My mom was not having it.
Man.
No.
Okay.
So I'm missing.
Yeah.
I don't play varsity as a freshman because
You can't go to tryouts.
not on a Sunday.
Can't go to tryouts.
No, and you would think a Catholic school, why you having tryouts on a Sunday? We never had tryouts on a Sunday again for the rest of my years there. But that's why I don't play. I don't even get the tryout for varsity because the tryout was on a Sunday.
Wow.
My mother, I already knew. I'm like, well, I'm on the freshman team, so and I'm playing a little bit of JV. So freshman year was humbling.
Okay.
Because I'm coming off a middle school year of, I'm doing really, really well.
Right.
I'm in my class in middle school, saying, if I get this much tonight, that'll put my average at here.
Okay.
That's my thought process
thought?
in
At
8th
that-
grade.
yeah, okay.
Like, I know we've got such and such. I got to get this much. So if I get 8 in the first, 8 off, that's 32 right there. If I
Right.
get 8, that's my thought process.
Yes,
Because I
yes.
wanted my average to be a certain
Yeah.
point. To where high school, well, the other freshman that you came in with, that you was competing with,
Yeah.
he's on varsity.
He's on varsity.
So let's dial it back a little bit. Let's dial it back a little bit. So that was a humbling
Okay.
experience. Even walking, I remember walking into the cafeteria like, "Yo, you ain't the top guy no more.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not the top guy no more. You're gonna have to crawl your way up out of this."
Yeah.
They don't know you
They
walking
don't know
in
you.
here.
Okay.
They have no idea who you are walking in here.
Now, so you playing freshman in JV? Your
A little
freshman
bit of
year.
JV, yeah.
A little bit of JV.
Yep.
Now, are you able to showcase some of your,
I
your
believe
talent
so.
on freshmen?
Freshman is literally, to me, it's like 8th grade all over again.
Okay.
But I'm not necessarily concerned as much with freshmen because there's another freshman that I'm in class with that ain't touching freshmen. He's not playing JV. He's only playing varsity. Boo, if you're watching this,
Yeah.
he was one of my motivating factors. He was.
Wow.
I need somebody to lock on
Yeah.
to push me and motivate me. So
Wow.
he was that person for me because I'm like, it doesn't matter what you're doing right now. You're not
Nah.
doing what he's doing.
You ain't doing what he's doing.
So it was humbling. Again, I'm doing what I need to do.
Yep.
Freshman and a little bit of JV.
Yeah.
But everyone in Sacred Heart is
Yeah.
talking about Marvin Boo Roundtree, Boudini.
Boo
They're
Dini.
talking about him. They ain't talking about you. So let's keep it in perspective.
Yes.
They're not
yes.
talking about you. So
Wow. So okay. Now who else is on that varsity squad with Boo? Was Blizz? No, Blizz is gone.
Blizz doesn't get there yet. That's when we come into my sophomore year. Everything changes my sophomore year.
Okay.
But my
Okay.
freshman year is Chris Ireland, who is
Chris, yes. Yeah, he was a monster on the boards. He can do it all really. Lockdown on D.
He's the guy that, you know, if you watch like NBA players, they say they got their vet that brings them in.
Yes.
He was my vet.
Okay.
He was the guy that kind of showed me the ropes. Blizz too.
Yeah.
But Blizz isn't there yet. It's Chris Ireland first.
Okay.
He was my vet. So CI was amazing. There's Dwayne Morrison that's playing.
Yep.
Mike
Dwayne.
Sullivan was Mr.
Yes.
Don't leave him open.
Nah, he'd knock
during
that
that
down.
point. But again, I don't get to see the
Yeah.
varsity experience because I wasn't playing. And again, I don't have an older person that's taking me
Exactly.
to these things. So
Was
I'm not even
Tavares
seeing
there at the time?
Tavares Campbell. Yes, he is.
He's there at that time.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He definitely is. there.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
So he's a part of that. He's a part of that varsity as well.
So now you got that varsity squad. So now, what's your mindset transition? So you know, all right, sophomore year, I gotta
Not yet.
not even.
I got a story for that, but not yet.
Okay.
Sophomore year, Ronell comes.
Okay.
So it's different. A different mindset coming in this.
Really?
First of all, I got it. We gonna be on the varsity team. Like that's my mindset. Like we're about to be on the varsity team. We're not
Yes.
just playing JV. We're playing varsity. But when Ronell shows up, it's expectation is different. Because I think they finished maybe like they lost in the first or second round. The year
I was gonna ask,
before.
how much success did you guys have that
They,
freshman
I
year?
think they lost. I think they lost in like the first or second. It wasn't. They didn't have a run.
They didn't go too deep.
They didn't have a run. I think it was
Okay.
like first or second year. But when Ronell comes, I'm starting to hear like whispers of
Okay.
we might be able to do something this year.
Okay. Okay.
So I remember just seeing Ronell because I don't know Ronell because
Yeah.
I think he was at Cheshire Academy or something like that.
Yeah.
I never saw Ronell. I never knew who Ronell
Oh,
was
nah.
until he showed up in the building. So I'm like,
Wow.
oh no, we're different this year
Yes.
because we have all these people returning and him. Oh, we're gonna be different. And I'm starting to come up slowly,
Yes.
but surely. I'm not the guy from last year. I'm starting to come into my own just a little bit.
Okay.
So I remember the jamboree that year, which was the Jamboree was everything.
Everything.
You better have on your J's and a haircut.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta be sharp
for the Jamboree.
That's the who's who and Waterbury is gonna be at the Jamboree.
The Jamboree, and I remember us losing to, I believe it was Kennedy in the Jamboree.
Kennedy? I'm trying to think who Kennedy. Oh, Kennedy had
Kennedy
Mel.
was amazing that year. Kennedy beat us 3 times.
Mel Roundtree and that squad, right?
Jay Doubtright.
Was Marlon?
No. Marlon was last year. It was I think it was not Garrett Petaway.
No, Yanni.
Yes, Yanni. Yes.
Yep,
I'm sorry.
James Hurdle.
Stubby.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they were tough.
Will Reinhardt.
Yes,
yeah.
they were tough.
Yeah,
they beat us every game.
Really?
We're gonna get into that too.
Really?
One of them they shouldn't have won.
Uh-oh.
I had something to do with that. My cousin still reminds me of that game to this day. But we lose to them in the Jamboree.
Okay.
But we have a scrimmage after the Jamboree against St. Joe's of Trumbull that has a player on their team, T.J. McKenzie, who's going to Providence.
Okay.
St. Joe's is probably top 3 in the state, or projected top 3 in the state, top 3 in the in New England.
Yep.
So we lose in the city.
Okay.
And we go and beat the brakes off of St. Joe's of Trumbull.
In the scrimmage?
In the scrimmage.
Okay.
We beat the brakes off of them.
Okay.
I remember riding on the bus still thinking about the Jamboree, though.
This wasn't the same day.
It was the same day.
Oh, so y'all did the Jamboree, then went and played?
Then went and played St. Joe's afterwards.
Oh, wow.
But I'm upset
about the Jamboree
because it's Waterbury.
And everybody was there.
Everybody was there. Nobody saw us beat St. Joe's.
Nobody saw
So
that.
I'm like,
the grandest of stages.
Nobody sees us beat one of the best teams in the region.
Yeah.
I'm talking about handled them.
Wow.
We handled them. But we just finished getting beat by Kennedy.
Yes.
Obviously, it was just one quarter.
It's a quarter.
But it doesn't matter. Like, to us, like, we're so competitive. Like, we didn't want...
You don't want to lose
We
nothing.
don't want to lose anything. We're thinking we're running the table this year. We're not losing to no one.
And y'all thinking it starts at the Jamboree.
Exactly.
That's where it starts.
And
you
it
set
started
the
in
tone.
the wrong direction at the Jamboree.
Oh, man.
But I think that kind of, like, sparked us. Like,
Okay.
no, you can get beat. I know we got all of this talent around here,
but you can still
can still be beat, and we wouldn't took it out on St. Joe's of Trumbull.
Okay.
Like we wouldn't gave them
Wow.
everything that they wanted and then some.
But that's crazy that you guys were after the Jamboree go and play a full game.
Right after. But I mean, the Jamboree was quarters, so you're not playing a full extensive game.
But what I will say though, what matches. I guess no, it's not a full game, but the adrenaline.
There's nothing like that.
It's nothing like that. So it's only 8 minutes, but that's like the 8 minutes of life right there because you got the adrenaline.
And this is my
and everything
first
matters for that
varsity
moment.
experience is the Jamboree. Remember, I don't play varsity the year before.
Right.
I don't even know about the Jamboree before. I don't have anything. I remember walking in that gym and seeing all the people like,
yo,
oh, what is this? Those were like those. I never thought I'd get to this age and be like the good old days.
Yeah.
But those were like
Yes.
those like you get some of that right now during the NVL tournament.
Yep.
But this is preseason.
Preseason.
You don't get like that type of energy preseason that leads you into the season.
Right.
The same energy that the kids get now from the NVL tournament, we're getting that to usher us into the season. Yes. So having that loss right there. But when I tell you about the sophomore year, you'll kind of see how this was the entire sophomore year. Like,
okay,
we're gonna give you a humbling experience because something great is coming after it. So that's kind of like we lose to Kennedy, but you're getting ready to beat one of the top teams.
Yeah, in the region.
Got you. And that's kind of like how the year went. Like we had a great year. And my coach is starting to trust me a little bit more.
So would you say that year Kennedy's the one team that had your number?
Easily.
Wow.
We finished number 1 in the region.
Y'all finished number 1,
but we lost to Kennedy 3 times.
So y'all 3 L's.
First in the Jamboree and then 2 in the regular season.
Wow.
We had 3 losses throughout the entire year. Holy Cross got us once.
Okay. Is that with Mark Konecki?
No, this is with Edmond. This is my sophomore year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, you still got Edmond to deal with. Yes.
I'm not going to. I promise myself
Lucas,
we're
Mark
not
Brown.
throwing nobody underneath any buses during this interview.
Okay.
Just say we could have, we should have won that first game at the pit.
Really?
But we ended up beating them by 20 the next time we played them. So
Okay.
remember I said the low point, high point.
point.
We lost to them first. I think it was like by 2 or 3 or something.
Okay.
I think the coach is there now. I think it's Olsen is there now. I think he hit a shot against us to put them ahead, and then we had like a 5-second call or something like that. Maybe in the pit it might have been a 3-second call. But either way, either way.
But how did that? So tell us a little bit about that game that you kind of was involved with, that Kennedy.
I try to forget it. So, whatever. I don't know the story. Other people do. Ronell does not show up that day.
Okay.
He doesn't come. He's not at the game.
He's not at the game.
He's not at the game. So I start.
Okay. Yes.
I'm like,
So you're not
14.
even starting your sophomore year.
No.
Okay.
I'm like, so I'm playing okay. This is for the city championship too.
Ooh. Oh, it's a major
packed.
game.
Major game. It's the final game of the season.
Oh man. Okay.
It's packed.
Yes.
We're down by 1, and Kennedy is full court pressing us. So I know I know press breaker. I know what to do. The ball gets inbounded, I believe, to maybe Dwayne Morrison. I close my eyes because I can see it in my head. Passes it to Chris Ireland right at the center circle of Kennedy, at Kennedy.
Okay.
CI throws it to me on the right side.
Okay.
5, 4. Nobody's near me. 3, 2. 1000. This is what it seems like. 1002,
man.
1003, 1004.
Oh, rolled out.
To win the game. I smacked the board. You know you smacked the
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
It's going in. I'm looking at this thing like, why you haven't gone in yet? I did everything right. I know I did everything right.
Yes.
That thing rolls out.
Oh,
And
man.
when I say 2,000 plus people run on the court,
No, so that's what you see?
What?
That's what you see. That's what you see.
and I'll never forget my cousin Cameron Northley. He's the only person out there underneath the bus.
Yeah, okay.
I remember him walking into the game, seeing me in the starting lineup, and I guess he went to Wilby, so Wilby has their senior night.
Okay.
He's like, I left our senior night to come watch you. You better not let me down. I remember him as he's walking past. He stops and says that to me.
I
To
left
this
our senior
day,
night.
He reminds me of that game.
Yo,
To this day.
he said, yo, I left my senior night.
I remember the very next day in school, I had in-house suspension.
Okay.
Not because of missing the layup,
Right.
but I had been late to school a couple times. So if you're late to school a couple times, you get in-house.
Yeah.
It just happened to fall on the very next day after me missing the layup. So in-house, there's this little room, I believe on like the second floor of Sacred Heart.
Okay.
They put you in the room by yourself, you get all your work, you do all your work, but it's an open window.
Okay.
People coming up to the window, boom, 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 boom. You suck. Throw your jersey in. You blew the city championship for us. It's all your fault.
You went through that?
I'm sitting
At
there.
school?
I'm sitting there like,
Wow.
I'm already dealing with it in my head. Like, I remember going home that night after the game, like, if I could cry, I couldn't. Then no tears would come out. I'm like, yo, first of all, I'm trying to come up. I'm the youngest person on the team.
Yes.
I'm trying to come up, and I have that awful experience. So I'm already kicking myself. Then the very next day in school, I got in-house, and everyone, it seemed like everybody is banging on the door. So that's how we go into the state tournament.
Okay. Wow.
That's how we go into the state tournament.
They're going to the state tournament on that loss.
On that loss. But again, no different than in the beginning. When we take that loss to Kennedy, we go and beat St. Joe's.
Mm-hmm. So y'all made a decent run in the States, though.
Everybody is lunch. We won the state championship that year.
That's the year y'all won the state championship.
Everybody is lunch.
Wow.
I remember we played North Branford the first game. No, I don't. I think it was North Branford. We beat them by like 45. Then we play. I think we play Prince Tech.
Yeah.
Prince Tech was great. They had a player, Delshawn Jackson. And there was another person, something
Tyshawn
Doss.
Wellborn. Oh, Doss?
Something Doss. He was like their big guy.
Okay.
I think his name was Doss.
Because Tyshawn was in our we played them.
Prince Tech.
Yeah.
With Delshawn.
Yeah.
Delshawn was leading the state, I think, in scoring.
Yes.
We put it on them. I think we beat them by like 15 or something. I don't remember who we played in the semis, but then we ended up playing Northwest Catholic in the state championship game.
Wow.
And that it was like a surreal moment. Like even on the bus.
Yeah.
Because it's like all of Waterbury, because we're the only Waterbury team that's playing in the state tournament.
Yep.
And the one thing that I love about, you can say whatever you want about Waterbury.
Yeah.
All of Waterbury showed up.
Yeah, they're gonna show up.
Edmund was there rooting for us.
Especially if you in that big game, they come to see.
We compete against each other, but all of Waterbury showed up to celebrate or to cheer for Waterbury.
Yeah.
That place was jam-packed at Central. That place was jam-packed.
I remember that.
And you know, we won. Like we won. I had a little bit of a role to play in it, and all those people that was saying how I didn't want it to be my best friend.
Wow. Okay.
So,
do you remember any highlights of that run that you had
during during the state championship run?
Yeah.
There would be like
in the States,
like flashes.
Okay.
That I would have, like certain flashes here, flashes there. But my coming out party, I guess you could say my coming out party happened in the state championship game.
Okay.
Because I had like the game winning assist to Ronell, and then I had the game winning steal to end the game, and then I dribbled the clock out. We were down by it was tie game. I had the assist to Ronell. He goes up for and one. He scores it. He misses the free throw. It's 48-46. Mm-hmm. They get the ball underneath their basket with maybe 7 seconds to go, or maybe 5 seconds to go. They inbound it to the point guard, and I see the guy literally trying to pass it to their leading scorer.
Yes.
And I just jump in the passing lane and get the steal, and that seals the game. Place goes
go crazy.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy. That kind of was like my coming out party. Because I had like little flashes here, flash there, flash there. And that was still a flash.
Right.
Because scoring wise, I wasn't doing nothing scoring wise. But I learned at a very early age, like that during that period, there's other things that you can do on the basketball court to impact the game.
For sure.
You don't just have to impact it in one way. So that was my way of impacting during that point. I was just grateful that my coach even trusted me to be on the floor.
Yeah, at that time of the game.
He obviously saw something in me to even put me in that position.
And great way to redeem yourself from the that initial loss from the city.
But the way I see it today, God always humbles you before he elevates you.
It's true. That's true.
Always humbles you before you elevate.
Right, because he wants you to feel, okay, we're going to keep you here so you know, you appreciate.
Appreciation.
So you appreciate where you're at.
And the thing about it is some people quit in the humbling part.
No.
And I remember the reporter interviewing me after the game, and he was like, how do you feel? He asked me about the Kennedy game.
Wow, okay.
And I was like, I wanted to quit basketball after the Kennedy game. And a lot of people quit during that humbling part of their life.
Yes. That
low point. Not realizing just 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
If you can just fight through this fight through the embarrassment, the shame, the ridicule that people are. 2 weeks from now, you're going to experience the greatest of heights if you can go through this
right here.
A lot of people quit during that part.
That's true. That's true.
So he asked me about it, and I was like, I wanted to quit basketball, but right now I understand somewhat.
Yeah.
I'm 14, 15 at the time.
Right.
But it was it was worth it.
Right.
It was worth Kennedy.
It was worth it.
Like looking back, it was if you tell me that I'll miss the city to win the state, I'll miss the city.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll miss it because nobody remembers this.
No.
Except for my cousin.
He reminds
No
you.
one remembers this except for him.
He reminds you.
I love him. I love him. I love him to life because he will keep me humble.
Yeah.
Regardless of all of that, hey, you still the guy that missed the layup.
Yep.
So
Wow. Nah,
Definitely.
I love that. I love that story, man. Now your junior year,
yep.
would you say now you're taking more of an
Definitely.
offensive role?
Definitely.
What changes? You got some people that graduate.
A lot changed.
Okay.
It starts right after that state championship game.
Okay.
I get in the car, and I used to always write down my goals and put it on my wall. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. This is whatever. So I get in the car with my mother, and she says, she's at the championship game. So she says, that was one of the goals that you wrote down, to win a state championship there.
Okay.
I'm so happy for you. And this is when the conversation changes. But if you don't start playing the way I know that you're capable of playing, find somewhere else to live.
Oh, shoot.
My mother don't know nothing about basketball. And if you ask her today, she doesn't remember this conversation. I remember it.
Right.
And it was like somebody put a defibrillator on me. And it just like jolted me like, what?
Yeah.
I remember that was a Saturday. Sunday, off. Monday morning, running to Fulton Park
Running.
with my basketball. I'm down. I live off of Walnut now.
Okay.
I'm running to Fulton Park with my basketball. She put the battery in my back.
Wow.
And I'm training. Hours. I will not.
Yeah.
Like, they may not have knew me walking in this door.
Yeah.
They're going to know me walking out of this door.
Exactly.
Hours. And at that point, it was like a culmination of things. It's slow. It's right before that is when I meet Wayne.
Okay. Right before that.
Right before that is when he gives me the ride. Mm-hmm. So he sees me during the state championship run. After the state championship run, he asked me to play on his team.
Okay.
So now I'm playing AAU basketball. And now I'm seeing players outside of Waterbury.
Gotcha.
And I'm introduced right out of the gate to two of the greatest Connecticut basketball players that I've seen.
Yep.
Bobby Moore and Will Solomon.
Yes. Bobby Moore. They
To
both
this
was a problem.
day.
They both was great.
I mean, Will played in the NBA for, I think, like 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Bobby should have played in the NBA.
Yes.
They're both in the backcourt. And I remember getting in that Connecticut Select van to go to a tournament with them, not knowing anybody in the van other than Chris Ireland. And Boo.
Okay.
We get to the tournament. It's in Pennsylvania, Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I'm walking in with them, and the people in there are saying, that's Will Solomon. That's Bobby Moore.
You hear him?
I'm like, who am I with? You mean the dude
you didn't know you was with them?
No, I don't know them. I know Waterbury basketball and
Wow.
some of the people that we played in the state tournament. I don't have any AAU exposure. I don't know who these people are.
Right.
I'm getting in the van. Bobby offered me some chips. That's all I know. The person that just offered me some chips in the van, when the ball goes up,
oh, man.
the first thing in my head when I see these two play, I got to get back to work.
Get out of here.
Because I'm feeling myself again.
Okay.
Because Wayne has me on the 15-year-old team, but he allowed me to play up on the 17-year-old team.
Okay.
That 17-year-old team has Will and Bobby that they're going, either they're winning the championship every tournament or they're going Final Four against everybody. So I'm like, I got some work to do because there's another level of basketball outside of Waterbury that is greater than what I'm exposed to.
Yes.
So it's, again, now I got somebody else to lock my eyes on that I'm chasing. And there's another story about Will in regards to that as well. But that's what's leading into my sophomore summer, going into my junior year, is I've been exposed to greater players, which is saying you got to step it up again.
Step it up.
So in high school, my freshman year, is Boo.
Yep.
Now I'm seeing past him and Bobby and Will. I'm like, oh no.
Yes.
I got to step it up. Marcus Cox out of Bridgeport. Like,
Yep.
I'm looking at all these guys like, you've
Yeah.
got to turn it up even more if this is what you expect to be on. So that's what's leading it. And then I got what my mother told me on
Yep.
top of it. That's going all into my junior year.
Gotcha.
So as I start my junior year, people are like, where did you come from? You don't understand the behind the scenes piece. And I prided myself on putting the work in. Like, you'll see me come game time, but you don't know how many hours I spent in the gym just for this game.
Just for this game.
So yeah, I had whatever amount of points, but do you realize how many hours I spent
To get that.
just to get that? You're seeing this and you trying to celebrate me for this. Come watch me
Yeah.
6 days out of the week in the
Train.
gym train.
Wow.
But I'm learned that training from the Mike Sanders, the
Yep.
T. Davises, the Boys Club experience.
Exactly.
I'm watching the behind. I'm seeing Mike in the pool doing pool workouts. So what do you think I'm doing? I'm doing my pool workouts. I got a pair of strength shoes. I'm dribbling a tennis ball.
Exactly.
Why? Because I was exposed to this at a very young. This is what greatness does.
Yes. Yes.
So you want to be great?
you got to do the great.
Let's put it on.
Got to put that work in.
Let's put the work in. But I got to watch the work. I wasn't going to the games just to see the finished product. I'm
Right.
seeing them behind the scenes in the training piece.
Yes.
So I know what it takes
Yeah.
for that level.
Wow.
So
Wow, that's crazy. So, how much success did you guys have? So, what's that team like? Your junior year squad.
junior year, Boo gets into a situation in the cafeteria.
Okay.
He leaves Sacred Heart.
Oh, okay.
So
He
him
goes to
leaving,
Crosby.
he goes to Crosby.
Man.
So door wide open.
Okay.
For me now, I got to fill some of that void.
Yes.
I welcomed it.
Welcomed it.
Why not?
Right.
You done put all this work in.
Yeah.
But that's what I personally believe. When you prepare yourself, opportunity always is made
It
open
opens.
for you.
That's right.
Now it's not like I'm wishing for him
No,
to
it's
leave.
just the
We
opportunity.
could have used him.
Yeah.
But when you prepare yourself for anything, opportunity will always make a way for you. And that was the space that was created for all the preparation that I had put into it.
And going into that year, that junior year. Now, when you first go into your freshman year, it's like, oh man, it's a humbling experience because
Yep.
You know, now your sophomore year, I'll be a role player.
Yep.
I'll do the little things.
Yep.
Now, is your mindset now after your mom and you started being exposed, like, okay, I'm turning it up.
Oh, it's my time to shine
It's
now.
my time to shine now.
It's my time.
I'm looking for my shot.
It's
I'm
my time.
doing what I got to do.
It's-
You're going in there with
it's-
that mindset.
I remember an article. One of my teammates said, "Yeah, he don't pass the ball." Because the other teammate had played well.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what was said. I'm sorry. What was said was he had a really good game that game, and they were asking him, "Why did this game you played so much better than all the other games?" He said, "Oh yeah, Randy decided to pass the ball tonight." He said it in the paper.
He said it in the paper.
I was like, because in my mind, it was like I'm tired of being overlooked.
Yeah.
I'm tired, and it wasn't just being overlooked. I was unsure of myself.
Okay.
I knew that I could, but I had that little
Yeah.
uncertainty, and I was playing timid. I knew I could play better than that.
Yeah.
But I was more worried about, so many people in here.
Yeah.
What is the coach gonna say? I'm worried about everything else other than just playing the
Playing
game.
the game.
And I was like, I've had it. I'm not doing that no more. We're going to get it. And that was my mind. I remember the first game I played my junior year, I had 20 points at halftime. Because that was my.
Wow.
Now you just went from not scoring nothing in the state
Yeah.
championship game to the very next year, junior year, you got 20 at halftime. It's because this is all that shifted.
Wow.
Was my mind. The way that I was approaching it shifted.
Got you.
So everything physically had to shift because my mind shifted.
Right.
And I mean, even today, that's what I try to instill with kids. Like, if I can get your mind,
right,
I can get the body. The body's a slave to the mind. What you think, how you determine, they want to call it the Mamba. I'm not on Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
What's your mentality?
What's your mentality?
What's your mentality?
Exactly. So now, are you guys having success with your
very much
increased shooting?
We're having success. We're playing well. It's not the year before.
Okay.
Because we're stacked and loaded the year before. Like, Ronell is gone, Tavares is gone, Dwayne Morrison is gone, Boo is gone. But I'm now taking C.I. is stepping up his points per game. Corey is obviously stepping up his points per game. Paul Araggio that was playing at that time. Vinny Musco. But I'm now taking some of that on my shoulders.
Got you. And also, too, not to cut you off.
Yep.
When you look at that squad your sophomore year,
yes,
you can say that was the start of the Sacred Heart dynasty for like the next 15 years.
Yeah.
Like when you know what I mean?
Without
Until the school closed.
Without a doubt.
That was the start of the dynasty.
100%. But that's Willie White.
Okay.
That's Willie White.
Okay.
You can't say anything about Sacred Heart's success without
mentioning Willie. Mr. Willie
He
White.
is Sacred Heart's success.
Got you.
Every person that ever walked into that building to a certain point until he stopped is Willie White.
Yeah.
It's Willie White.
Wow.
We don't come there if it's not for him. It's
Wow.
Willie White.
That's
Sacred
crazy.
Heart is Willie White High School. But did he get the credit for it? No.
Nope.
But the people that he put in that door,
know.
we know.
We know.
I'm not here. I'm at Wilby right now.
Wow.
It's Willie White.
Willie White.
That's sick. And I remember at his funeral, that was what came up.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about Sacred Heart and this and all of that. Willie White is the one that is the reason for all of that.
He's the reason for all
For
that.
all of it.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is. It's the
That's
truth.
crazy.
It's the truth.
Yes.
It's the truth. But that is the start of it. But it's Willie White that opens up the door for people like myself and Ronell and Chris Ireland and Boo and Corey and everybody else that comes after us. Willie White opens up that door.
Wow. So how did you guys fare your junior year?
Junior year, we lose to Prince Tech.
Y'all lose.
So Sean gets us back.
He get his get back.
He got his get back. I remember we lost by like 7 or something like that. It stung.
Yeah.
Because you taste a state championship. You get a ring. That's all you think you're ever gonna have in your mind. Like,
I'm always gonna win.
No, you're not. Because somebody else is trying to come up while you're the target.
They're coming for you.
And who beat us? The very team that we beat on the way to the state championship run last year. So we thinking, oh, we got them. We took care of them last year, so on and so forth. No.
No.
Nah. He played very, very well that game. I played okay, but not enough to be able to counteract what he was doing that day.
So would you say, now going into your senior year, do y'all get any new additions that's coming in?
Definitely.
Or it's pretty much the same squad?
Definitely.
So
we're all younger now. I'm pretty much, but Andrew Parker, Devon Parker's son.
Okay.
Andrew Parker comes in, 6'5", athlete.
Okay.
I remember just because I don't think I know Drew at this time. I remember just we were playing in the summer, and I just remember seeing like him just come through the lane. I'm like,
okay, we're gonna use that.
In my mind, I'm already like, oh yeah,
yes,
we're back.
Yes,
because I'm thinking he's my Ronell.
Got you.
I'm like, okay, I got my Ronell again. We're going. And we had enough young guys, Will Saunders, Pooh Saunders, Mike Stallings, Rasheem McClain, Matt Pandisha, Josh Giles. Some of the guys that's on my freshman team, they're now come of age now, playing senior year, John Stankus. So we're ready.
Ready.
Now, going into my senior year, that AAU summer,
Okay.
We finished third in the country in the nationals in Florida.
Third.
But we got we have maybe 10 or 11 people on the team, all of them Division1 talents.
Wow.
This is when Gomes is having his coming out party in front of all of our eyes.
Wow. So he's going off.
He averaged, I think, 5 points the year before, but he's first team All-American this summer. Coach K is sitting down.
Wait,
Yes, that same summer, that sophomore year, because he's 1 year behind me.
Yep.
That sophomore year, he only averages 5 points because Boo Boo, Will Stenson, is averaging 30 plus.
Yes, Boo Boo.
And then you got Demit and you got Said.
Yes.
Gomes only averaging 5 points at that point in time.
Wow.
But that's something. But he was holding back because he could do much more than he was doing.
Yeah.
But that summer, he put us on his back.
Get out of here.
I'm talking about.
He did a total 360.
Oh my goodness! Because all these teams are known teams. The Riverside Church,
yes,
the Tim Thomas players, the whoever. All of these known teams that are producing Division1 talent and NBA players, and they're just seeing little old Connecticut Select. But we can play. We don't care nothing about what's on your jersey. You better lace them up and play. And we're going into tournaments, and he's destroying people.
Wow.
I'm talking about destroying people. And we used to one of his nicknames besides G was Quiet Storm.
Quiet Storm.
Because he wouldn't say none.
He ain't saying nothing.
But he's killing you. And he wouldn't dunk. He would, for whatever reason, he would not dunk.
Yeah.
But he's 30s and whatever, rebound and everything. I remember Coach K sitting there watching him. They was talking about redshirting him, bringing him to Duke and redshirting him.
Really?
Like, I mean, and we run the table down.
So as you seen him, like playing with him AAU,
yep,
and then quiet as kept. Like now, the NVL was kind of stacked too.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know what I mean? So it's like you got to play against him throughout the regular season. Now you get the luxury of playing with him in AAU.
Exactly.
Are you saying like, wow, do you see future NBA?
No, and anybody that says that they saw future NBA, including him, would be lying.
Okay.
We were good friends. Like when I grew up Bucks Hill, he's in Bucks Hill too.
Okay.
So we're at the big park together. We're not getting picked together.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm seeing. So even as a sophomore, when I'm playing, like he's only playing a little bit, but we're still cool outside. So we would like hop in my mother's car and go court hop.
Okay.
So we got R5 and we go into every court in the city, and then we would go to Watertown I think that's Peterson, and then we would go to Prospect and get kicked out of Prospect Park because if you win too many games in Prospect, they're gonna call the cops, and you gotta go. You're not from here.
You're not from here.
You're not from here. So that's what. So I knew what he could do. He played like Carmelo Anthony, Antoine Walker.
Okay.
But when he would play for his high school team, he would just rebound because he had two guards that were Demit and Seb was going to get to it.
They was getting to it. Yeah.
And Ryan understood I'm just going to get all the rebounds and put it back up. But AAU, he was a different.
Wow.
So watching that, I didn't see NBA, but I know heading into my senior year, I was trying to get him to Sacred Heart.
Okay.
We sure enough was recruiting him. And they called him the first day because he was coming.
Really?
They called him the first day in homeroom, but he ended up staying with
Oh, man. Oh, so they called him like...
They called him.
Like your attendance, like you're supposed to be in this class.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't show up. So that would have been Gomes and Drew Parker.
Ooh. That's, man.
No need even thinking about it because it didn't happen, but it would have been nice.
It would have been nice.
I remember junior year recruiting him during the game.
Wow.
I'm like, man, they ain't even passing you the ball. I'll give you the ball. Like, I'm going to give you the ball. So, but it didn't happen.
So your senior year.
Yep.
It's all you now.
I mean
you
I got people with me, but
obviously your mentality is.
Yes. And I learned a very humbling experience yet again.
Okay.
So I'm used to success. After my sophomore year, I'm used to success. To start my senior year, we start out 1-3.
Ooh.
I'm averaging 32, 33. these 4 games.
Okay.
But we're 1-2, 1-3 or whatever. We lose to Wilby. I never lost to Wilby my entire.
Right, and y'all lose to Wilby.
We're losing to Wilby.
Is this the Gomes that's?
No.
He's. They don't woke up the Giant. Now.
Yes.
Okay.
He's him now.
He's him now.
Well, yes, he is. He's him now. So, but we lost.
Okay.
And I had 30 plus. And this is, I care more about winning than I care about 30.
Okay.
I hate losing.
Got you.
I'm not the 40 points a game person, but we lost.
Yeah.
Nah. So I had a nice little conversation with myself, like, okay, you got a choice. You can go out, get the 30s, get the 40s, get Billy Finn, and be off on your way to school, or you can go get another state championship. Which one you gonna do? So I'm like, I got to get my teammates involved. So instead of me, getting a breakaway dunk, pass it to the dude that is only averaging 4 or 5 points. He scores it. What is he gonna do now?
Build his confidence
and
up.
he's coming back to play defense for me because I need
you
you.
fed him.
I need you. So my points go down, but the wins are going up again.
Got you.
So I had to learn that from losing.
Now, was that you making a conscious effort to sit back, or was it like, dang, man, he ain't passing the ball, the little rumblings that you might hear?
No. It wasn't. There was no rumblings that year.
No rumblings.
Because everybody knew, everybody understood.
Right.
And there was no, animosity or anything like that. It was, we understand you. If it's going to be done, we're leaning on you. We're leaning on you. But
you knew.
I knew I want to get back to the state championship.
Yes.
I can't do that by myself.
No.
Ronell, and I didn't get to tell this part, when I was a sophomore, Ronell, I remember him after a game, pulling me aside and be like, you're different. I don't need you being like everybody. You're different.
Got you.
Keep putting the work in. You're going to be one of the ones. And I remember him sitting down and having me, the gym at Sacred Heart, the fake gym, because we didn't have no real gym. We had a carpeted one hoop. But in that place, I remember him sitting down because he knew that I had some potential, and he fed that potential. So now, vice versa, now I'm the senior. Now what do I do with my with this opportunity? Do I share it, or do I, just worry about myself? So I decided to share it.
Wow, okay. Awesome. So how much success do you guys have that year?
We go to the semifinals. Okay. Now, in all honesty, our team probably should not have been there.
Okay.
I mean, there's maybe 2 people that played basketball after high school on the team.
Yeah.
But we were here.
Okay.
We were here. I remember the game, a quarterfinal game. We played against the number 1 team in the state, Marianapolis Prep.
Okay.
And we played our best game of the season that game, but talent-wise, we shouldn't have been there. So the semifinal game we played against New London, and then Wilby is playing against Kobe Cathedral. So what it could have been in the state championship is Wilby versus Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
We both lose in the semifinals, but we didn't play our best.
Yeah.
We didn't play our best.
So just quick, how would you wrap up your high school career, and what would you say your best game was?
Scoring wise, my best game I think was probably against Holy Cross my senior year. I think I had 38 or 40, but we lost.
Okay.
But my best high school experience would have been that state championship game.
Okay.
We won.
Y'all won that.
I'm not, that's the one I remember more than the most points I scored.
What would you say your worst game was?
That Kennedy game.
That Kennedy game.
By far. Easily. By
Worst
far.
game.
That Kennedy game by far.
Are you highly touted now by D1 schools at the end of your?
I definitely got some. I have some interest going forth. like Central Florida, like most of the local schools here, Northeastern. But there was an issue. Supposedly, my guidance counselor said I didn't have a certain credit.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to go get a scholarship right after I graduated.
Okay.
So I had to go back and do a 5th year at Sacred Heart to take one class.
Wow.
Because my guidance counselor at the time did something or said something or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't eligible. So I had to sit out a year and watch. I didn't even get to play. Like today, they probably would allow me to play because I didn't play my freshman year. So I would have had, but I had to sit there and watch and just work.
Okay.
But yeah, I am touted somewhat.
Okay. And so you choose
Youngstown State.
Youngstown State.
Youngstown State. To me, like, I went out there and visited. I loved the school. The coaches, I really, really gravitated to the coaches. The coach that recruited me, his name was Derek Kellogg. He was a point guard at UMass, assistant coach at UMass. Then he went to Youngstown State and was a coach there. So that's where I started my college career out in Ohio at Youngstown State.
Okay. All right. Now, did you stay there or did you leave?
I left. I have a interesting journey, but I started playing off really well there, and then for whatever reason, like after the non-conference schedule, the coach stopped playing me, and I was averaging maybe like 7-8 points as a freshman college basketball.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm on my way, and then the senior, he started getting all the time. I'm not getting the time. So it kind of frustrated me, and I didn't handle it the best.
Okay.
I could definitely say that now. I didn't handle it the best. I allowed it to get to me. I still took it out on my teammates. I took all of my frustration out on my teammates.
Yep.
But I had already made a decision. I'm not coming back.
You're not coming back.
Because you had told me one thing, and then you completely did a 180 as soon as I got here. I'm not coming back. So I remember calling Wayne and telling him I want to leave. I don't think this guy has my best interests in mind. So I remember him saying, all right, no problem.
Yeah.
And I went to Kilgore Junior College in Kilgore, Texas
Okay.
For a year, which was an experience, but it was an opportunity for me to play basketball.
Gotcha.
And I took full advantage of it.
Okay. So you end up there. Where did you end your collegiate?
University of Rhode Island.
You end up in University of Rhode Island. Now, how was that experience?
Basketball-wise, my junior year, it was great. We had a great junior year. Senior year, I personally got a little distracted.
Okay.
And we suffered some injuries, and senior year was not so good. I love the URI. I love my school. But the basketball experience my senior year was not the best, but I was the reason for that. Okay. I got distracted.
You got distracted.
The things that got me there, I didn't do once I got there. So that was the reason for that.
Wow. Man, like just sitting here, man, we can go on for hours and hours and days. But, I don't want to cut it short without you just, kind of, just saying to the kids or to the parents, like, what should they be doing? What are things that they can do to, gyms to help them succeed or get them further in their careers or even in life? Because, you're a youth pastor, you're a coach, you're a life coach. What could, someone do to just advance in life?
Like right now, I do the majority of my work. Like I am a youth pastor at my church in Meriden, Faith Center Church. I work with Hoops for Life organization where I'm here in the community working with kids. You can't escape the work.
Okay.
We talked about it earlier off camera. Like, you cannot escape the work, but we can't be so critical on the kids without looking at ourselves in the mirror first.
Got you.
That's one thing that we talked about. Like,
yes.
This generation is completely different. They have more distractions than any generation that's ever existed. But the one thing I know, at least for my own son, I have a 12-year-old son right now. I can't expect my son to chase his dreams if I'm not chasing mine.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's not, do as I say, not do as I do.
Right.
Because this is the most visual generation that ever existed. So they're watching everything that you do,
Right.
not as much as what you say.
Got you.
So if I'm not chasing my dreams in whatever it is, and I'm not going after it in whatever it is, my son is not. I can't say, why are you not doing this, that, and the third? Dad, why you ain't doing it?
Right.
So I would say, if you want this generation, how are you giving to the generation?
Right.
What are you pouring into the generation?
Gotcha.
I utilize some of the things that I messed up on, the distractions that I had, to be able to, hey, don't do what I did.
Right.
I made the mistake for you so you don't have to go through that. I wasn't so great. I'm not. I know what it was like, not to get in the game. I know what it was like to doubt yourself. I know what it's like to be distracted. I know what it's like not to do this. Don't make the same. Use me as an example of what not to do.
Exactly.
Let me help you. And that's what the Willie Whites did for me. That's what the Wayne Simones, the Deneen Fryers,
Yes.
These are the people that have poured into me. How dare I take all of that
Exactly.
and then not give it back to the
Yes.
next generation? So I'm not going to criticize the next generation if I'm not giving to the next generation. So
Yes.
I try to spend the majority of my time now giving to the next generation. I try to keep myself in shape so I can play
Exactly.
with the next generation. I'm not going to just tell you what to do. I'm going to go out here and show you as well what to do as well.
Show you.
So, that's kind of, and you don't never give up. Because just because, like we talked about earlier, just because you're in this down period right now,
Right.
you don't know
What's up here.
You don't know what's coming. You
know
don't
what's
know
coming.
that there's a state championship coming. You don't know that there's a scholarship coming. I didn't even get to talk about that part. You don't even know that there's a scholarship coming, even though you're going through a year right now when you're out of school.
Right.
And your AAU coach says, hey, just train for this year. There's going to be a showcase for you in March, but he tells you this in August. You got to go through every single day getting ready for that opportunity in March. That's how I got to URI.
Wow.
I was out of school for a full year, but he said, I'll take care of the coaches. I'll put them in a gym to come see you. You go work.
You go work.
But I went in blind faith and did the work, and the opportunity opened itself.
Present itself. Wow.
Everybody goes through that. In any aspect of your life, you're going to experience something like that.
Yeah.
Do you have enough faith to keep pushing when it looks like it's not working?
Wow, that's key right there, man. And I would love to just end it on that. That's powerful. Because not only in sports, like you said, in
life.
in any facet of life, you can take that and pull from that.
Yep.
Randy, man, I thank you for sitting
Oh,
down.
thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
And for those that we acknowledge as, our legends, we'd like to give you a complimentary Legends jersey, man.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for the hard work that you put in when you was younger, getting busy on the court, and thank you for the hard work that you're putting in for these kids now. Thank you.
To God be all the glory. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Wow. I ain't seen a Sacred Heart anything in a long time. Wow. This is legit. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much.
Hey, y'all, for tuning in. Thank y'all for another excellent week of Run It Back, man. Another, shout out to my man Randy, man. He got an excellent story, and he spit some great gems for the parents, for the kids, for all of us. Just tuning in. We got to put the work in. We got to put the work in if we want to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? And again, preparation when those opportunities come. That's how we grow. That's how we excel. But again, thanks for tuning in for another episode. I'm Eric Lewan, and this is, Randy Brooks, man. Thank you. See y'all later.